Hi, folks. Roach here. Still in the wood shop. Pretty soon, I'll be leaving the wood shop. And I'll be going someplace unknown. It'll be a surprise. And apparently, this surprise is something I can't know beforehand, otherwise, it would ruin the surprise. Now, of all the videos that I've produced, this one will be the most difficult for people to watch. It will be the hardest truth that people can accept. Most of you will not like what I'm about to say. A few of you will see past the illusion and find true peace. My journey has been an interesting one. It has been a journey to the truth. The material on the website, my videos, were all stepping stones to bring me to the point where I am right now. So, to make sure that I get it right, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm going to read it, and I'll see if I can put something interesting on the screen for you to look at while I do. The text I'm going to post to my website, and I hope now that they'll have the sense to leave it alone, so you all can see it. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay. What I'm about to reveal is the truth, as it has been shown to me in my life. I know most of you out there will be outraged. You will call me a quitter. You will call me a traitor. Many of you will want to kill me. Do as you're led. I can only place my unconditional trust in On and gladly accept the choices that On makes for me. I only ask that you hear me out completely and draw your conclusions only after you devote a sufficient amount of time to truly weigh what I reveal to you. Know this, that I do this out of love, mercy, and compassion for you, and foremost, with your best interest in mind. On February 2nd, 2013, I invited all the people of Texas to join me in my quest to reestablish remedy and recourse to the law and due process of law. Only one special lady showed up. We talked together in peace and friendship. What I have proven to myself through my interesting experience is that it is not our perceived oppressors that deny us lawful escape, but rather it is the fault of the people themselves, who choose to be so vacuously ignorant of the law and so blind that they cannot perceive the truth of their circumstance. I was born into a group of conquered people, a people who lack the capacity to know they are conquered. That ignorance is the source of their suffering. We here in America ignorantly believe that we were declaring our independence from the British Empire. We here in America ignorantly believe that we successfully rebelled and prevailed against it. That is not the truth, and I will prove to you why. Britain itself had already been conquered before the Revolutionary War by a force vastly superior in men, resources, and stealth. This empire is so powerful that it can exist right before our eyes, and only the most astute and conscious can even detect its presence. The reason this hidden empire is so formidable is that it has always had the blessing of On and the divine law on its side. Those ordained that sit at the top of this empire have been attempting to protect us from our own confusion, but we are a stiff-necked people and continue to resist in ignorance. It is they that have always had the knowledge of the Holy Grail, and it is they who enjoy divine grace and protection. They are not who you think they are. Make no mistake, what you see in what you call society is an illusion and a deception. It is not they that deceive us and maintain the illusion, but rather we who choose to deceive ourselves. It is not they who cause our suffering, pain, wars, and death, but we ourselves who choose to make ourselves our own enemy. For me, it has been a priceless journey to the truth. It required trust, courage, and resolve to face the truth that I have been shown. I want to now share what I have learned so that you may know what I know now. Do not blindly accept what I say, as it is your responsibility to prove it to yourself. I can only show you the door. You must choose to open it. I must first explain why war exists, so that you know what is happening. What is war? War is a conflict between at least two opposing sides. One side knows and accepts the truth and has the law on its side, that I will call the fused, and the other side does not know the truth, which I will call the confused. Wars are won before any violence or resistance erupts. Violence ensues only because the confused are so blind to the truth, and it must be proven to them that they cannot prevail against the truth. This lies at the heart of trial by combat. If the confused knew the truth, then there would be no need for conflict at all. The knight who is true will always prevail over the knight who is false. It is always the one who resists the truth that makes the fatal mistake of committing the first act of aggression. That aggressor will always lose, and the defender of the truth will always win. The defender will have superior morale and is granted superior resources, and be able to win the hearts and minds. The aggressor is guaranteed to have none of that. Do not be confused. The conflict we see now is merely us fighting amongst ourselves, such that we destroy ourselves by our own hand. That is the fate of one who loses the war. How do I know all this? My conclusions are based on my careful study of the history of what was the Republic of these United States. The conflict was over before the Republic, before the Declaration of Independence, and even before the Pilgrims landed. The Republic was an illusion created to protect those who rebelled against the truth. When the Republic was born, there were some glaring truths about it that the people failed to realize. 1. The control of the money and property was not in the hands of the Republic government, in direct conflict with the Constitution. That is the truth. 2. The Republic government had been so thoroughly and completely infiltrated by those with allegiance to powers outside of the Republic government. That, too, was a glaring conflict of interest, which was also in direct conflict with the Constitution. If you truly know what the bar is, then you know it stands for the British Accreditation Registry, and its home is in the City of London. You also know that the City of London is a country separate and distinct from the rest of the country. You know also that it is as much British as the Federal Reserve is federal. Her Majesty, the Queen of England, cannot enter the City of London without being granted permission. That should make the truth very obvious to us all. What caused the War of 1812 was that the resistors acted to throw out the foreign-owned bank that controlled the money, and those who had successfully infiltrated the government by not renewing the bank's 20-year charter and by ratifying the Constitution to include the first 13th Amendment, which banned those who held title of foreign nobility from holding office in the Republic. Who were those infiltrators? Anyone who holds a bar license holds the rank and title of Esquire, which is rank one below knight. That title is under the authority of those who control the City of London, and not by the authority of the country at large. After the Republic secretly surrendered in the War of 1812, the flag was still there, but everything else returned back to the way it was. The bank charter was renewed, and the original 13th Amendment was curiously ignored. It was over when the White House was burned. What was left was to take the perceived sovereignty from the several states. That began in 1859, when the southern states rebelled against the Union. The Republic Union ended in March of 1861. The states lost their sovereignty when the Civil War was decided. All that has gone on since then was a careful strategy to bring the resistors back into alignment with the law. For our protection, the illusion of freedom, independence, and government was maintained because the people had rendered themselves so confused that they would injure themselves when they resisted. Slowly, more and more pressure has been applied, and our perceived government was made more and more incrementally tyrannical. Look around. Is there anyone who actually thinks they enjoy rights and power? The American dream has slowly become the American nightmare, and we still choose not to wake up. A slumbering people are of no use, most especially to themselves. How bad does it have to get before we wake up? I woke up. I had to ask myself, is what I believe really the truth? It was not until I accepted that I did not know the truth that the truth was revealed to me. Yes, I resisted. That is normal and to be expected. At first, I was angry at those I saw as my enemy. Then I realized that I was angry not at those I ignorantly saw as my enemy, but at myself for allowing myself to exist so long in a state of confusion. It was then I realized that I was not at war with them, but actually I was at war with myself. It was I who turned away from those who were trying as best as they could to protect me from myself and my own confusion. More to the point, I turned away from On. I know that I cannot enjoy mercy until I completely surrender. I know it is unlawful to harm one who has completely surrendered and no longer resists. I know that there are consequences for my stubborn resistance, and I accept them as I am required to under the law. I know it is my choice, and my choice alone. If I am of no use, then all I can hope for is that my death will be merciful and humane. I am no longer permitted to turn away from On and the law. I must comport myself in truth strictly according to the law. Under the law, I am not permitted to take my own life. I surrender to one who can offer mercy. Love, Roge.